Has it surprised you at all that they both kind of came out swinging from the get-go in this?
I wouldn't say I've been surprised by it. They seem to have sort of picked up where they left off. They're a lot of the same. They're repeating. They're reheating some of the leftovers from the last campaign. So we're hearing a lot of the same characterizations of each other that we heard 2 years ago. And so no, it has been feisty. The campaign literature is pointed, but these are two candidates who have run against each other already. They're not really in a place right now where they need to introduce themselves to voters. So the best they can do, probably the most effective thing they can do right now, is try and attack the way that their opponents are trying to represent each other themselves.
I get the sense, and you obviously know more about this than I do, about how much money is being spent here. Number one, it seems as if a lot of money is being spent. And number two, I get the sense also that the Republican National Committee is looking at this seat and saying, you know, we can win this, we can get this one back as a Republican seat, and maybe putting their money where their mouth is. What sense do you get in terms of the spending here?
Well, it's a swing district, obviously. It's gone back and forth, and so both parties are interested in this, and both parties will be funneling money into the race, in addition to whatever the candidates are raising on their own. And it may be the parties, or it may be some of the proxy PACs that support candidates. And while I haven't been tracking so far how much money they're investing, they spent heavily last time. They're certain to spend heavily this time on TV ads and mailings.
Speaking of which, those who live in the 18th congressional district have found a number of glossy material in their mailbox, and I know you brought over a couple of things which representative of what people are seeing here.
Yes, it looks like they were even sent to the Baxter household. I have a couple examples here from each candidate. This one is from the Maloney campaign, and it's this is accentuating her association with the Tea Party. They have Congressman Maloney in the last campaign and this time has sought to portray Nan Hayworth as extreme, and so the invoking the name of the Tea Party is helps to do that. And this mailer is has her holding what is apparently an actual Tea Party membership card, and so on the back it reads Nan Hayworth, radical then, radical now. The card dates back to 2010. So the point here is that in their view she's an extremist, and that position has not moderated. And I have here something from the Hayworth campaign with, we see the feet, presumably Congressman Maloney's feet, standing on a pedestal overlooking what appears to be a scene in Rockland or Westchester at the near the Tappan Zee Bridge. And this is painting him as an elitist, and on the back it mentions his wedding just a couple months ago, and calling it an extravagant wedding that taxpayers had to cover the cost of security for. And they also bring up on here a point that came up during the debate about his support for Jim Taylor's biomass project in Montgomery, which has been kicking around for years, and Nan Hayworth has become increasingly critical of his support for this project, and his support consists largely of his supporting a federal loan guarantee that that Jim Taylor has been seeking for a long time now to build a garbage gasification plant. The point she's making here is that his support for that stems from Jim Taylor's campaign contributions in support of Sean Maloney. So that's the case that they're making in this flyer.
Do you think among the voters, do you think there's one or two issues that would resonate? Obviously, they're putting forward their agenda and what they see are attack points. In terms of the average person out there, is there an issue or two that you think would actually sway them to one or the other?
Well, there was a Siena poll a few weeks ago in which Sean Maloney was 8 points ahead of Nan Hayworth, but they also in that poll probed people's positions on various issues and asked how important those issues were to them. And not surprisingly, jobs and taxes were what they identified as the most important issues to them. I mean, if you look at the campaign literature here, or the remarks during the debate on Monday, there was not a lot of focus on that. You know, I'm sure rhetorically both candidates would talk about relieving tax burdens and finding ways to create jobs, but those are not really the issues on which they're clashing, except only obliquely. In the debate, Nan Hayworth talked largely in broad brushstrokes about the Democratic Party. Sean Maloney is a member of the Democratic Party, which supports a big government agenda, a sort of classic Republican critique of Democratic philosophy. And in that sense, I guess you would be saying that Sean Maloney is hurting job creation, is increasing the tax burden through a Democratic viewpoint, taking from the debate what Sean Maloney was saying about Nan Hayworth was she in Congress was supporting a Republican agenda that was intent on destructive budget cuts that would hurt the economy, that would hurt the middle class and people who benefit from government programs. So that's kind of the indirect way in which jobs and taxes, apparently the most important issues to voters in the district, the way the candidates are addressing them. But it's not really turning on specific proposals that you could connect to jobs and taxes.
Let's wrap up with this. With roughly a month or so to go to Election Day, at this point, have you gotten any kind of a read in your own mind as to how you think this might go? As you say, it's a swing district. It's been gone back and forth. Any sense at this point as to who might emerge victorious?
No, I'm not going to go out on a limb there. It's impossible to predict. Sean Maloney's leading in the one poll that we have. That was 3 weeks ago. It's a month ago now, before the election, and you know, at the same time 2 years ago, Nan Hayworth was leading the polls, and she lost by 4 percentage points to Sean Maloney. So there's no way to predict how this turns out.